Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're so happy to have you on board tonight. My name is Andrea LaPlante. I'm a national marketing director with the Juice Plus Company. I'm also a certified health coach with the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute. And we come together usually once a week, sometimes more, to talk about things that matter. And one of those things is eating well and thriving with vitality. So we're going to share a little bit tonight about what made sense to us, and I'm going to kick it off to Shelly first so that she can just share a little bit about her journey.
Thank you, Andrea. My name is Shelly Parsley, and I was introduced to Juice Plus through my best friend Linda, and I can't thank her enough because she kept talking to me about, she knew that I wanted to improve my health. I was looking for a way to, not just for me, but also for my two boys, um, get more nutrition, more goodness into us. I didn't, I didn't think we were getting all that we needed to be getting. It's just too difficult. And we all have different, routines and schedules. And after she explained Juice Plus and the plant powders and everything, it made a lot of sense to me. It was just a simple thing that I could do for myself and my family to kind of bridge the gap between what we were getting and what we really, essentially what we really needed to be getting, which was a big difference. So we have been taking, all of us now. My husband just jumped on board, but my boys have been taking it. My son, who's been living away at college, Josh, he literally has the quad, which is the fruits, the veggies, the berries, and the omegas he takes faithfully. And I can't tell you how good that makes me feel, knowing that every day he's putting all of that goodness into his system. After incorporating the plant powders, I was gifted this amazing tower garden, which from my best friend, from my bestie, which is the best present anyone's ever given me. I don't know if you guys can see clearly, but this is the tower garden, and it's just overflowing. I have so many greens and things that my zucchini started flowering this week, and I'm just super excited. Not only is it fun for me to watch, the progress every day, but I've never eaten more greens in my life, and I feel incredible. And I know that it's because of this. And I'm craving more too than I ever have. So I don't know. It's physical, it's mental. I know that I'm getting goodness every day. And I think that just makes other things in my life better. I'm bringing with me to my life a more positive outlook. I'm just feeling really, really good. So I'm looking to share this with people that I care about in my life. And I think I'm going to give it back to Andrea, who can really explain and show you some slides, a little presentation that I think will really explain it all. So thank you for coming. Thank you so much, Dina. I'm glad you're here.
You have a really powerful story, as moms or anybody, right? The first thing you said was simple solution. And then you said you've been eating greens like you never have before. I mean, how many times have you gone to the fridge, right, with greens that are store-bought that have been shipped and you don't know what's on them? It could be recall, which how many times have the recalls happened? So nobody's touched your greens. You've grown them. You pick them. You don't even wash them. You eat them. You have this amazing variety. There's no contaminants. There's no distribution channel. And the nutrient density is better than anything you could possibly get. You're not worrying about pests weeding. You're growing year round indoors in New England. You basically plug it in, walk away, and come back, water it, make sure it's taken care of. But the fact that, if you go into your grocery store, the greens take up space. And how many times have you looked at a bag and it's all yucky and slimy? And then you're like, oh, I can't have that because it went bad. So here you have this beautiful display. And then you guys, I'll just pull up some slides just to share a little bit more about what this looks like and why we're so excited about this and so passionate about it. Shelly, can you see the slides on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to ask and make sure. So I just mentioned too, I'm a national marketing director with the company, and I really came to this just, Shelly, you bring up such a great point that we tend to sometimes do things for our kids more than ourselves. Because if you had asked me, I would have said, "Oh, I actually did." I was like, "Oh, I'm good, but I need to get this for my kids." And then I became very humble, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm not getting 30 plants every single day, vine ripened." That have been allowed to ripen on the vine with the skins, the seeds, the cores, the peels. I'm not getting that every day. I need this too. So we're just going to share a little bit about why, what's going on in the world, just to kind of wrap it around in like a little bow so we can all understand why this was even created. But you can just read the stats on here. We know about heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and obesity. And the obesity epidemic is getting younger and younger, and kids are getting younger and younger that are becoming obese and have all that inflammation. And inflammation is the root cause of all disease, and it's just taking over. And I would love to be part of the solution of reversing that, right? And I think the number one of the things that just really strikes a chord is that our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. And that, when I heard about that, that just didn't sit well with me. I was like, wait a minute. The reason I partnered with this company like Shelly did, and I thought, I need to let more people know about this, that it's an option, is because I would like to be part of that solution and taking healthy back so our kids aren't going to suffer. Our kids should be able to outlive our parents. And at this point, the statistics say that our children will not outlive their parents in this day and age because their food supply and the quality of their food is not nourishing them. So in addition to that, we have these environmental toxins increasing. I mean, just look at the picture here. You can see the pollution. You can see that there's toxins that are in our skin, they're on our skin, in our hair products, over-the-counter drugs, prescription drugs, plastics, chemicals. And it's like, oh my God, there's so much out there, right? And sometimes it can just be so overwhelming. Like, where do we start? How do we fix this? How can we make a difference? How can we make our health better? How can we give our family more nourishment? And at the same time, our food quality is decreasing. If you look in a grocery store, I'll tell my clients to shop the perimeter. Don't go down the middle of those aisles. Just go to the produce aisle and get what you need there, and try and stay away from all those packaged foods that have synthetics in them. Trans fats, artificial colors, they really do a number on the brain. Growth hormones and flavor enhancers, all of these things that we know, even seeing the picture of the syringe and the apple, and what's going in genetically modified foods and what they're doing to keep an apple on a shelf for as long as it can. So some apples are actually in a store for up to a year, and then they're put on a shelf. Then you might pick it, maybe not. You put it in your bag, you bring it home, it sits on your counter. Maybe you don't eat it for 3 or 4 days, or maybe it goes bad, or it's not a good one. It's kind of mealy, and you're like, this isn't even a good apple. So you're dealing with, and we'll talk about the distribution channel, but the food today is not what it used to be. And broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of its nutrients before you purchase it. An apple today is 50% less nutritional value than it did 20 years ago. And that's nobody's fault. We can't like be upset that we're all doing the best we can. But we'll talk a little bit about the reason why Juice Plus was created and why it's so different from anything that's nutritionally depleted at the store. But not only that, we have this amazing program, Project Health page on Facebook. And we have this amazing community. We talk about exercise and sleep. Sleep is so important, 7 to 8 hours a night. It's so important for detoxing. It really gives your liver a chance to do its job at night and just get rid of all of those exposures, just like that slide we saw of all the toxins and the things in our food. Our body needs to really get those out, and it does that through sleeping, exercising, drinking water. And the other thing is using safer products, which we know, but eating real food and managing stress is huge, because we know that that can cause more damage inside. But when we focus on fruits and vegetables, and we all know like fruits and vegetables will never go out of style. You'll never say, "Oh, I can't eat more fruits and vegetables," or "Don't give me that spinach because it's too much," right? We know that's what nature made, and there's a reason why that the all of these colors work synergistically in the body. And so what happens with disease and just aging over time. I love the image of the apple because you slice it and its white, fleshy part is just staring at you. But over time, if you keep it out, you can even do this with your kids, it starts aging and turning brown because it oxidizes. That's what happens in our body. We take in oxygen as humans, and over time, the oxygen starts. What happens is we start rusting from the inside out, and there are different things that can happen. Stress can cause more oxidation. Athletes, there's athlete induced oxidative stress. So I know a lot of people here have athletes. I have three athletes. I have a Division 1 college athlete, basketball player, football. And my kids, there's multiple games, multiple practices, and multiple sports in one season. And even if you do, my son now has finally focused one son on just basketball, and it's not just basketball, it's AAU. You've got tournaments, you've got multiple games in a day, and they're pushing, pushing, pushing. And that causes a lot of oxidation in the body. But if you think about a fireplace, right, in your house, and it's not gas, it's a real fire, and you light it, and there's no screen on it, you'd be worried that the sparks, if and especially if you threw gasoline on it, which is like oxidation, right? That could blow up and burn your house down. Same thing inside your body. And what actually puts that fireplace screen up, like an imaginary screen, are antioxidants, which are found in raw fruits and vegetables. So that's like the safety net inside our body that helps with all those free radicals that attack our DNA and cause us to age and turn brown. And nobody wants to age. We all want to age gracefully, right? But we also want to feel good, and we don't want our body to break. And if your kids have played sports and they're athletes and have ever had an injury, and feel free to ask me or talk to me after this call. But my daughter had a severe injury, major trauma, and she has plates and screws in her arm from one of her injuries. My son broke his foot, the other one broke his finger, football, all of these things. And we eat a ton of fruits and vegetables, and we've been able to cut that injury time in half for recovery, which is huge for athletes. But the news obviously isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for us, they can save our life. And we know that, but it's like, okay, well, what is this here that we have? We know we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. If you're an athlete, it's 16 to 20 at least. But the problem is, and you look at the picture and you see those green bananas, and I remember thinking as a kid, oh, well, they'll just ripen, right? And they'll get more nutritious. But what's happening is because of our distribution channel, things are being picked prior to being ripe. You can see the truck there, right? They're taking them and shipping them across the country, 1,500 miles. You could get an orange from California and you're in Florida, right? So you don't know where your food's coming from, and it's picked so it can sit on a shelf and look pretty. And a lot of times they waste the produce that doesn't look good, the ugly produce. But there are a lot of things that are put on them to make them look good that may not be good for us. And then their nutritional value, it hasn't reached its nutritional peak. It's only reached a certain part so it's not ripe. It will become ripe in the store, but it starts depleting in nutritional value. It doesn't get more nutritious because it's not from the host in the earth. It's just depleting nutritionally. So that's why we need to eat so many more fruits and vegetables on a regular basis. And I'll just share my story here. And the reason why this made so much sense to me, I was looking for this because I have 3 kids, and my middle guy overdosed on isolated vitamins. And I had no idea that that could be something fatal. And I'm lucky he's okay, but you can only absorb iron in trace amounts. And that happened on my watch, and vitamins never really made sense to me, but it was recommended by my pediatrician, and um, it was just a wake up call. I was so upset, and I started researching and thinking, why did I give my kids vitamins in the first place? Why do they need vitamins to fill in what kind of gaps, right? And I was so upset and angry. and thought there's got to be a better way. So I took the vitamins out of the house. In 2008, there were 51,000 calls made to poison control centers, and some of those were fatalities. And I really didn't know that. I just took for granted the pediatrician was giving me the best advice. And after that, I swore that I would become my own health advocate. So when you look at the multivitamin, it's someone that's isolating and it's synthetic and made in a lab, where you're eating the apple, which has over 10 to 12,000 phytonutrients in it. So wouldn't you want all those 10 to 12 thousands of phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, to help reduce the inflammation, with the blueberry that is 20,000. And then you've got the pineapple and the beet and the cranberry, as opposed to a synthetic that the body doesn't recognize. And typically you would pee it out. It has supplement facts on it, as opposed to all of these phytochemicals that are on the right hand side. And a lot of times it can either pee it out, or in our case, it was toxic. And my son had a severe episode. So I like to share that because at the time I took vitamins away, and my son, after that, he was a great eater and he became a really picky eater, like pull your hair out picky eater, gagging and throwing up broccoli, couldn't get any down. He wouldn't eat anything green. I was worried about him. I would hide things under sauce. I was that mom that tried to hide everything, and he'd find it. They would find it and just be like, "Oh, we don't want this." The cauliflower that was in the mac and cheese, or I'd blend greens and put it under tomato sauce and everything. He found everything. And I just felt really overwhelmed. And I was like, they're athletes. They need this. They need their veggies for brain health, for school, to function, to grow. Every aspect of our cells and our bodies need the rainbow, and they weren't getting it. So one day I walked into my gym and I saw this. I was like, oh my God. I immediately went to see if it had a child safety lock on it. No, the lid just flips up. If it had a supplement facts label or nutrition facts, it said nutrition facts. So it's the same thing as a bag of carrots or a bag of spinach. There was no poison control number. There was no warning label. And I was like, oh my God, someone figured out how to get food in a capsule and a chewable. Like, this is the answer to my prayers. So when you look, I looked at this menu and I thought, wow, there is no way I can get all this in my family every single day, 365 days a year. I mean, if I'm honest, I have teenagers now, and my boys won't eat raw kale, raw spinach, raw cabbage, raw broccoli. They still won't. And this is all raw. And the difference is it's vine ripened. So it's allowed, our farmers have worked with our company for the last 25 years, and they grow specifically for us. So there's a specific checklist. It's grown sustainably. You don't have to worry. And because it's not going to sit on a shelf anywhere, it's not sprayed with chemicals. You don't need it. It doesn't have to look pretty because you're not going to see it sitting on a shelf. And actually, what these farmers have told us is a lot of the fruits and vegetables, like for example, an apple that has a sunburn on it has more nutritional value than one that's perfect. And I remember asking someone, well, what is that about? It's just that the apple has more phytonutrients because it had to work harder to starve off, or however they did that with the sunburn, and grow. So if something looks a little off or funky, it doesn't matter. It's just thrown in what you would consider a juicer, but it's a step above juicing because nothing's left behind. So the broccoli stem and leaves, we grow specific bitter broccoli for this that you would never find in a store. Nobody would want to taste it. It's just so bitter. With the stalks and the leaves, and the beets with the leaves, and the whole entire pineapples thrown in. Nothing's thrown away. Every single thing, leaves, stems, everything. And it's crushed, dehydrated into a powder form. The sugar in the water is removed, and it's encapsulated, and it's put into a chewable form too. And then, of course, we have a vegan omega, which is amazing. Something that really spoke to me when I was trying to do all this research on my own. I was looking for answers about plant-based nutrition and whole food, and how could I get more into my family. And our company is, that's what we do. It's 100% plant-based whole food nutrition, education, and research. So 10 years ago, our company did research and realized that you don't get omegas from fish. You get them from the algae and the plants that fish eat. So you can bypass the fish altogether and have a plant-based sustainable option with these cold pressed berries. And we actually grow our own algae so that we don't have to worry about contaminants in the runoff. You don't have to worry about contaminants in the fish. What we've learned about a lot of fish is there are a lot of contaminants in the ocean, microplastics and things like that. So we went one step ahead again, and we grow our own algae in a sustainable environment. So we have that. And then omegas are like anti-inflammatories. So, I mean, it's so great for heart, brain, joints, skin, eyes. Um, but it's such a great anti-inflammatory, and every single cell in the body needs omegas, and our body doesn't make it. You have to get it from an outside source. So we've added that in addition to the Juice Plus. It's just like basically what it does is it helps bring the nutrients of the fruits, vegetables, and berries into your cell, cleans up the cell, and brings out the trash. And the omegas help keep your cells pliable so they're soft, so you can absorb the nutrients and then help get rid of the toxins. And then we have this amazing vegan nutritional powder, which is getting more plants into your diet. But what I love about it, not only is it delicious, my family has one every day. This is what we eat for breakfast. We make protein bites. Our athletes will grab them in the morning and run out the door for breakfast if they don't have a chance to make their shake. And then they come home from practice, or they'll come home from school, and we'll make a double batch of these, and they're gone in a couple of hours. And we like to put them in the freezer so they're really cold, and everybody loves them. But look, if you look at the plants, you're getting more plants. But what I love about this is it acts like a fertilizer with prebiotic fiber that feeds your good gut bacteria. So it helps all your gut bacteria. It helps feed the good guys so they grow. And if you don't have prebiotics and you're eating a probiotic, the prebiotic is food for your gut bacteria. Otherwise, they won't grow and they won't expand. And you know that gut health is one of the keys to overall health today. And this is a great way to get your fiber in. I consider it healthy fast food. We'll make a shake. And even if you're an athlete and you want to recover and help protect yourself for your future workout, my kids will make them and have them 20 minutes after they work out, or any of their games and things like that. So just to wrap it up and share a little bit about what it is, it's food. It's not a synthetic multivitamin. It's made with non-GMO ingredients, vegan, kosher, gluten, dairy free. The NSF certification was huge for me. So what that means is once it's grown and it's dehydrated, they actually give it to a third party, hand it over, and that third party comes in and tests it and makes sure there's no herbicides, pesticides, molds, mildews that have blown into the field or somehow anyhow got in there. And there's no banned substances. So if you have an athlete, my daughter rides on an equestrian team, Division One. You can't have you need the NSF for sport if you're going to go be an elite athlete, or if you're going to go even further than that. So a lot of times kids in high school will be told, hey, grab this whey protein, which is dairy, which is not something that I recommend because it has an inflammatory factor in it. And a lot of times it's highly processed. But the other part of that is a lot of kids don't necessarily know what's on the label is in the bottle. And they could go to try and get a scholarship or get tested and find out that there's something in there that shouldn't be. And then they could lose out on a scholarship that they worked really hard for. So you want to make sure that whatever your athlete is adding is NSF certified. And it's the most researched nutritional in the world. And you can just see we have so many research studies. I think we're in the 40s now. And that's what we do. We research, research, research. We study plants. How do these plants help support all of the things that it's been proven to do here? And you can see how it reduces the oxidative stress. It's absorbed. So many things people eat. A lot of times, I mean, you could be vegan and still not be absorbing if you have an issue with your gut. So what's so great about this is it's digested in a powder form and gets absorbed right into your bloodstream, and it goes to work. And it helps maintain your DNA. And right now, with everything going on, it helps support a healthy immune system. It's allergy season on top of it. So a lot of people are struggling with allergies, and you want to have your immune system balanced. This will help balance your immune system, and all of the other things that it's been proven to do. And there really is nothing else available in the world with or without a prescription that can do what this has been proven to do. and that's Dr. Richard Du Bois, who was best in his field. He worked with HIV and AIDS patients, and he said that when he saw his AIDS patients eat better and get more fruits and vegetables in their diet, they had better recovery and response, and were able to fight that disease. So just to even see too, what's so exciting about this, when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, I want to get this for my whole family. And I was able to sponsor my daughter for free. My husband sponsored my son for free. And my parents sponsored my third child. And what does that mean? It just means that with your order, you get free nutrition for one child for up to 4 years. So we're really trying to, at the very beginning, when I mentioned that quote about reversing childhood disease, our company's really trying to make an impact and reverse childhood disease and obesity and diabetes. Um, as long as you're age 4 through college age, and these are all the things that are happening once your family starts eating this nutrition, and all of this happened in my family. And I will say, prior to this, all three of my kids had issues with eczema, molluscum when they were little, tubes in their ears, past colds and flus around. And then once we started diving into nutrition and looking at our food supply and making different changes, we found Juice Plus. We added that in. It's been 10 years for our family of 5, only well checks. Our doctor's like, I can't believe it. I haven't seen you again, only once a year. I'm like, that's the way I like it. I want to stay out of the doctor's office, focus on well care. We invest in food and we don't invest in meds with side effects. And we do the best that we can with that. And we try and eat as well as we can. But, you know, it's really difficult with teenagers that have a mind of their own and they like certain things. But we also have, like Shelly shared, the tower garden. I have 2 of them in my house. I grow year round indoors. You can bring it outside. You can keep it inside year round. It's just another way to get more plants and more variety. So we'll grow our greens and we'll pick it and throw it in our shakes, make our salads. It doesn't take up space in the fridge, but if you love the idea of sustainability, the water recycles itself. It's 3 times faster. It's more nutritious, 30% more yield, 90% less space. A half hour of tower garden produce equates to 30 acres of land, which is super exciting because as our human population grows, we know our soil is being depleted and reused. And the nutritional content in our soil is being depleted. So with tower gardens, you can grow year round and you're not using any dirt. So you don't have to worry about that at all. And you have this super nutritious food in a variety, which is what our body needs. So you can see here, and you can ask the person who invited you to call about the price. I absolutely love the price. And I will say, adding this to our diet, we ended up saving money. We no longer invest in sick care or meds or anything like that, allergies and all of that. We've actually ended up saving money, no more copays at the doctors, and we just invest in this, and it's been a game changer for us. So I'm going to stop the share here, and if anybody wants to ask questions. But what I will say is, when I started, I wasn't looking for anything. I had a corporate career. I worked for Fox Sports prior to having my kids. And then once I learned about this, I felt like I had a obligation after what happened to my son to make a difference and to um, tell everybody I knew, whether there was a business attached or not. Just so happens there is. And now we have a team that works together and we share this nutrition, and it's the most incredible community I've ever been a part of. People who want to just do good things, help people get healthy. You can be a customer for life. You can partner with the company and cover costs, or you can partner with the company and become a national marketing director and have full benefits. Whatever it is that makes sense and feels good for you. But I love the education that's this company provides. It's absolutely unbelievable. The education is amazing. We learn so much, and we have these incredible wellness professionals, people all around the globe. It's an international company that are just coming here to talk more about getting more plants into people, reversing disease, protecting DNA. and just giving our cells the nourishment that we need on a daily basis that we're just not getting. So if you guys want to unmute, if anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat. Feel free to ask, or to respect your time, if you have to jump off, you can always ask the person who invited you on and follow up with them as well. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm going to stop the recording.